Welcome to episode 22 of the Out on Loan podcast. As always, I'm your host, Jeffrey Canova, joined by my lovely co hosts here in Kieran Keneally and Aricha Chargy. We should potentially be getting Isaac Housen coming on soon. We don't know yet, but obviously he's out on loan right now, working for a Bonnie's, I think is a basketball game, I safely assume. So, Isaac, if you can make it, hope you're listening. Love you, bro. Hope to get you back for next week when we get back to it. Obviously, it's been man, interesting last few days, obviously for everyone. Soccer fans, sports fans, political fans, anybody out there. Obviously, we have Super Bowl coming up. Obviously, this Sunday with the Patriots and the Seahawks. We got Benito, Grammys, Radio Row, all that fun stuff. And
Don't
then,
forget Green Day for Super Bowl.
Green
Green
Day
Day
as
with
well
the
for Super
opening
Bowl.
show.
Don't forget, USA Turning Point USA. They're gonna be having their halftime show
Oh
with
yeah, with Kid Rock.
Kid Rock. So I can't wait to rock for that. No, if you get the sarcasm there, it's just we're not waiting for that. But obviously, the main thing here is obviously soccer as well. United, as always, Manchester United, Manchester City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Premier League, all that fun stuff. The show continues, obviously, and it must be a show right now for our guy, the United Strand, because three wins, 3 wins in a row for Michael Carrick's Manchester United team. Another late game winner, 3-2 win over Fulham at the Old Trafford. Boys, I know it's been a few days, but and maybe this is good for us because again, we sometimes overreact, we sometimes go crazy. I imagine after that 3-2 win, you're probably like, give Michael Carrick the damn contract. But I think now you have a few days to reflect on it and just give your not final conclusions, but more thought into like the result and how the team has been playing these last few days and weeks. What's your takeaway, guys?
Definitely a good one. We all thought going into it was going to be our biggest test because people thought Fulham were going to sit in a low block. And generally, those are the type of games United have struggled against. But that wasn't the case. Fulham actually played pretty well. I think it was almost like 50-50 for possession in the game. And to be honest, Fulham could have gotten something out of that game. If they played a bit better, if they were better in the final third, they probably could have maybe gotten a draw. Um, I will say out of the three performances, maybe that was like the least convincing one. I'm not saying it was horrible or really bad, but I don't think United were that great. But that could be a positive if we didn't play that well and still won. That's what really matters right now in terms of getting Champions League football. In terms of Carrick, I mean, I'm still of the camp of take it one game at a time. Don't give him a contract off the back of just one game. We did that with Ole when we beat PSG in 2019. That was not a good idea. Give him a contract after one game. I mean, it's debatable, but I would still want United to be searching other managers, to be conducting interviews and doing the research while this is going on. But I mean, if Carrick keeps winning, let's just say another couple games in a row, why not at least give him a chance? Why not like maybe interview him or something? Um, but I'm just kind of like take it one game at a time, enjoy these good results, these good performances, but just remember, United fans, we've seen this film before where a new manager comes in, we play really well, think he's the guy, and then a year later want him out. I mean, I remember last year we thought Amram was the guy. We thought Ten Hag was in the wrong. He was making bad mistakes. Amram was way better. Guess what? We have Carrick now. We're saying Amram was the problem. He was making bad mistakes. He was making bad subs. Carrick's way better. I've seen it before. So I'm just going to say enjoy what we're doing right now, but proceed with caution because you never know with United. You don't know what's
Hmm.
next.
You know, Kieran, I really like that take because that's a very neutral take and one that I would also have if I weren't a Man United fan. But you know me, I'm a Man United fan, so you know what that means. Give Carrick the paper, whatever number he wants to
Dude,
put down,
stop, stop,
sign that
stop,
thing.
stop. I'm
I,
gonna
I,
mute you.
fellas,
You
fellas, fellas,
stop.
fellas.
No, you're not
Literally
giving him
10
the
minutes.
contract.
Listen. 10 minutes after that game was over, I texted you guys all something, and it was Carrick was going to win the Prem. Spurs are going to win the Champions League. Just the way the game is going, that's what's going to happen, you know? So never say never. We've seen Leicester win the Premier League. We've seen, damn Bayer Leverkusen almost have a treble. We've seen what are the crazy things we've seen? We've seen Tottenham win an European trophy before Arsenal last year. How about that? So, like I said, never say never. Anything can happen. All I'm gonna say though, Carrick, I think you know what? I'll be a little more neutral. I'll take away that Man United bias
You
a bit.
better. You're going
Okay, you
mayhem
know
right
what?
now.
For
We're
for
comparing
for
the
the
great teams. We're comparing the great teams like Leicester City from 2015 to 2016. That great Bayer
yeah
Leverkusen team. We're
yeah.
comparing that to this. You're insane, man. You're. I love you, man,
Not
but you're
not
insane.
really. I mean, like we have a world class talent in Bruno Fernandes, who's currently
Oh,
leading the Premier League in assists. Well, he's currently leading the Premier League in assists and has a very good chance at breaking the Premier League all time assist record. He has 12 right now. Okay. And the record, I believe, is 21 by Thierry Henry. So he needs 10
It's
more.
20. He needs 21 to
Yeah.
break the record.
Right. And we have I believe that was game number 24. So we have about 14 more games left, which, with Bruno, it is very doable if he stays healthy. So we'll see. Um, and then, of course, you got the great Cameroonian in Brian Mbumo, and then the great Ivorian in Ahmad, and then the great Brazilian duo in Matheus Cunha and Casemiro. So it's definitely possible. We got a team, we got a squad. Arsenal, they choke. Let's see, Man City, they haven't been consistent. I mean, in fact, they dropped points against Tottenham, for God's sake. Same with Aston Villa. I was surprised they dropped points this weekend. Everybody's dropping points. Everybody is dropping points. So mathematically, it is possible. We'll see. But I do want to say, like, one thing about Carrick, though. Honestly, props to him for figuring it out in such a short amount of time and, letting the guys play at their best position and finding a formation for it and trusting it and, just letting the boys play, really. Like he obviously was with Middlesbrough and he has his own tactics that he could have like tried to imply, but given he came like, in mid-season, didn't want to deal with all that, didn't want to do that. So if that continues to work, and then obviously come summer with Casemiro now leaving, we're going to have a big midfield problem, which, if we were to get, say, like an Elliot Anderson, another like midfielder, and then like a couple like fullbacks or so, then, there's a chance. And like Kieran already mentioned, if he continues to win games, why not give it a shot? Like, because there is no guarantee that, say, like a Luis Enrique, if he were to like join Man United, he could also like turn it around for Man United. Because we've had managers like a David Moyes, a Van Gaal, a Mourinho, an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, an Amorim, a Ten Hag that has had successes with other clubs, couldn't turn it around with us. So if Carrick for now knows what he's doing, and which it seems like he does, and it's working, why not? It's Carrick,
I mean, my not to burst the bubble here. I do have my major concern with United is our midfield. I know Casemiro's been
Yeah.
playing the form of his life right now. He's looking as good as ever. But I saw a comment online the other day. It basically said that United are about one midfield injury away from being 8th place. And I partially agree with that because if Casemiro gets hurt or suspended for 2 or 3 games, I don't know if anyone can do what he does in our team. Or if Bruno misses a couple games, I think United definitely crash out a bit because we've been playing really well under Carrick. But if you look at those 3 games, I think a lot of it has to do with Bruno's creative abilities as well as Casemiro's defensive presence. Now take away one or both of them, and that midfield is a lot worse. And I know you can't speak in hypotheticals, but you never know. If one of those 2 midfielders is gone for a couple games, I am really worried about what we look like. But hopefully we don't have to get to that bridge. Hopefully they stay fit. We're only playing once a week for the rest of the year. You'd think that works in our favor, but we'll see. Oh, we have
see,
to
if
take a
we
drink
have
for
a
this one.
studio, if we have a studio for this, right? I
Yeah.
would splash this 2 liters of water in your face for telling me about you guys are winning the league because that's not happening. Maybe
I
in 2
mean,
years,
we already
even
know
in
Real
2 years, if you think there's been no. I think for me, there's been bright spots. We're happy for United, but there's been no bright spots for you to tell me, in like after just this 4 or 5 game samples that Michael Carrick is
Yeah.
gonna go out and win the Premier League. Because I completely
Let's
agree with
see.
Kieran. I think
Let's see. With Michael Carrick, we've beat the first place team, the second place team, and now the seventh place team. Like, what? Why is that crazy?
well, I've seen Madrid go out with beating Atletico one time with Santiago Solari with all these type of players, and that didn't work out because the few days later, boom, they got smacked, and it showed his tactical inept when a few of his key players went out.
Yeah, we're talking about Real Madrid, not Man United.
No. I'm just giving you an examples of the sample size that it's not enough, pretty much. Like I
Mm.
don't think that's enough to tell me, especially with the track history that you guys have gotten. Like, doesn't that sound bad? Doesn't that doesn't that make your case even worse? The fact that elite tacticians and managers that have managed these great clubs like a Mourinho, like a
Mm.
Ten Hag, like all these guys, right? Like a Ruben
Mm.
Amorim, the fact that these guys haven't succeeded, what makes you think that like if that hasn't helped worked in that favor for those, what do you think is going to make it work for Michael Carrick when he's going to be thrown under the bus eventually?
Because
If United
Glazers
go
had
on a
100% control. That's why. Now they have 75% control. And Ineos
what
takes
a
care
big
more of the
difference.
football stuff. And so far, with the players that they've brought in, gotta give props to them. I know, like, a month ago, I was, like, on them for that sudden firing of Amarim, but they've done well with when it comes to, like, the player recruitment and, getting them into the PL. And so far, like, performing right away compared to what, like, a Garnacho or an Anthony? Like, I mean, dude, that makes a difference.
That's fair. I mean, I think for me, it's just going to be the waiting game. But if
Yeah.
moving on from whether Carrick, we'll see. I think that's what we conclude on from this conversation is based on the fact that we just have to wait and see what Carrick does when the pressure does get tight. What happens when you guys lose that first game? When you guys go on a 2 game losing streak, or you're just not playing well, and how are the fans going to react? How will you guys even be in a title race?
We'll be chill.
That's why. I mean, you guys are not even. You guys are in a free form right now, which is why I'm not even like reacting too much because I just want to see what the Glazers are going to do, what Ineos is going to do, what all of them are going to do, and how is the team going to respond? Because Kieran is on point right there. That team is just in terms of depth and quality is just so weak because, like you said, Kieran, if Bruno goes out, that's a major like loss right there because that guy's probably been that guy has been your best player this whole year, this whole decade, this whole whatever you want to say, just been your best player under this new Blazers, right? But the one player I do want to kind of talk about is Casemiro, man. Look, Casemiro, man, as a Madrid fan, watching my midfield, right? As a Madrid fan,
Would you
watching.
take him back, Jeff?
Hold up, let me get to my point. Who has seen so many loses man, and the one weakness that he is as a CDM is lose track of his player, whether he's a center back or as a CDM. He consistently loses his man and is defensively so weak at times in terms of just focus and attention awareness, right? And then the other backup to him is a Kamavinga who can't even move or progress the ball and is better as a left back. And the other midfielders just can't do the hard work that he does, right? So for me, I'm on tears right now, just seeing him fucking good, being an elite player. Because I got mad when Jamie Carragher went off on him. I got mad because it's a legend of the game. You don't disrespect a player like that. Yes, he was bad. Yes, he's awful. But you need to say things about the game being. Well, you created a meme out of him, and I'm so happy that he's killing it. And to answer your question, hell yeah, I would take him back. Now we're looking back into whether or not we should have sold him during that year. Now, maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe it's because I've seen too many play bad and Kamavinga not being consistent enough or being injury prone, and you have a player like Casemiro who the first 2 years that he was in United wasn't up to that standard, and now he's like at his best physically. So I'm happy to see him succeed. So maybe I'm like, man, I really wish we would have had that player right now. At the time, I think it was the right move, but man, would I have him right now? Fuck yeah, I would. He would change the whole dynamic. Look what he's doing for that United team. He's making them from relegation contenders to at least top 5, top 6.
Relegation contenders, brother. What is this, 2024, 2025? It's a new
It
season,
wasn't
new team, new
2025.
everything.
You take out Casemiro, you put Ugarte, I don't know what you
Mm.
guys will be for like the next 2 to 3 months. You guys will probably drop points. I don't know who else you want to put in there, but Casemiro has been, besides Bruno Fernandes, I think Casemiro has been your most important player.
I agree.
I love what Diallo's been doing. I love what Mbeumo's doing. They've been scoring the goals, Sesko, Cunha, but that guy has been so consistent this whole entire year that there's a reason why now. If you even look at Brazil's midfield, a few months, what was at the beginning of our podcast when we started this? I was scared for what Brazil's chances are in that World Cup because I was like, dude, their midfield is just whack. I don't know what Casemiro's going to look like. Bruno Guimaraes, I don't know what we're going to get from him. Maybe Cunha's in there. You're going to play potentially Rodrigo. So it's a physically weak team. And now I look at Casemiro with United and how much he's been physically on track. He's been in shape. He's scoring goals, providing assists. He's doing no-look passes. He's on free form. Man, dude, Brazil are my faith in Brazil of like at least going to a quarterfinals or semifinals went from here to here now because of how good he's been. And I can't wait to see him at the World Cup because
And you
I
can
think for
thank
me,
Man
he's
United
Brazil's
for
best
that.
midfielder. He's Brazil's best midfielder. He's Brazil's best midfielder, which is absolutely amazing because you need a 3-time, 4-time Champions League winner on their team to make it to those World Cups. And I hope to see him at the World Cup, man. He's happy for United that they got him back on track. I don't know. What are your thoughts on Casemiro before we move on to our next?
I mean, thanks
Yeah,
thanks to Amarim too for yeah, I'll just like make it quick. Like thanks for Amarim for like, putting him in a position as well. Because I know with Ten Hag, especially his second season, he was kind of like exposed, and that's where all those memes came out of, him being slow, him missing out on man, leave the football before the football leaves you, all that stupid thing. But I'm same as you, because like I remember the first season when we got him, like Ten Hag's first season, it had the same impact too. It was like, holy cow, this man is like a savior, because like we've also been looking for a DM, a proper DM, and we end up getting him, and like the way he just like changed up and put structure to our midfield, as well as just being clutch and set pieces, scoring headers like consistently. Um, yeah, his presence couldn't have come, and his form couldn't have come at a better time. And it kind of sucks that it's ending at the end of the season, but I wish him all the best. He's had the hell of a career, and wherever it is he goes, I just know like that's going to be another one of those like players that hasn't spent most of their time or prime with us, but they'll love United with their heart. So that's all I got.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta just like give him credit. Like Eritrea said a couple of years ago, he was just not playing for us. I mean, even like last year, like Toby Collier or like other academy players were ahead of him, but he kept his head down. He worked hard. He stayed professional. He earned his way back in our team, and now he is arguably our most important player alongside Bruno. So that's just great professionalism right there. I not to glaze or anything, but I am very thankful that I got to watch a player like Casemiro play for my club. It's just really cool that someone like that playing for your team is just amazing. Um, a little bit sad though. I put him in the category of Rafael Varane of like good for us. I just wish we signed them 10 years ago when they were like in their 20s. If we had signed like prime Casemiro and like prime Varane, who knows what could have happened. But I'm still grateful he played for us. He's an incredible player, one of the best I've seen in our team since I've started watching football. And I can see him like I feel like he's gonna love United for the rest of his career. I feel like I could see him like Varane having like a cookout or something, watching a United game with like Bastian Schweinsteiger
Schweinsteiger, yeah, I was
in the
thinking the same.
backyard, supporting
Yeah.
United. But no, he's a great player, and I really hope that he can end on a high note of helping us get in the Champions League, because he is like he's not Mr. Champions League, but he's won it 5 times. So for him to like help us get back there would be like a nice like a full circle moment, a nice way for him to close his chapter at United.
Is he better than Matic, Kieran? Because I know Matic is like historically
I
been your
know,
favorite
I
player.
know. I love Matic, but yeah, I'd have to say he's better than Matic was underrated.
No.
Like,
In terms of like, he like has he overtaken Matic as like one of your like? Oh, thank God I got to see this guy play. Pretty much.
I wasn't like that for Matic. I just really liked him because I feel like I could relate to him in some ways, like with how I played. But like Casemiro is, I think he's overtaken Matic of like, wow, I watched that guy play for my team. Like, if I would have kids or grandkids down the road, I would tell them about Casemiro. He is like that good of a player.
Me too.
No offense to Matic. I don't think he's like that type of player. I'm gonna like brag about him to my grandkids. But like Casemiro is just he's Rolls Royce. I know it's overused, but he is Rolls Royce.
No, completely agree. But yeah. But we're gonna before we continue going on United, and I think just the United Strand, as always, we're going to please sponsor our guy, our main producer, Batman at D Stone Pictures, Robin Stone. Shout out to you as always for producing and editing our episodes, our reels. Please follow him at Stone Pictures, Instagram, TikTok. I know he's still doing great work, and I think he got an assignment coming up. I think he got an album coming up soon, so please go follow our boy out there as well. But um, yeah, I think to kind of close off our Premier League thing in United, where we at? Like, I know we talked about the percentages, and like where we're at with Michael Carrick. Should he sign a damn thing? Talked about Casemiro. We talked about Bruno, his impact. What about the impact, the social and media impact of a United Strand, man? I mean, do you think he'll do it? And by that, because I bring this question because obviously this is gonna be kind of like a weekend thing now, a weekend prediction. Obviously, United play Spurs, and I think your final game, if someone can bring it up or remember, because you guys are the United fans here, you got Spurs coming up, and then one more game. If I believe it's West Ham, correct?
Yeah, West Ham away after that.
West Ham away.
Yep.
Can he do it? Will it happen?
I'm not too sure, honestly, because we haven't beaten Spurs in almost 4 years. We played that team like 500 times last year. We didn't beat them once. And I don't know, West Ham we haven't beaten away either. They're like two of our bogey teams. So I'm fairly confident, but I'm also a little cautious because I could see us slipping up against Spurs and getting a draw there. I know they've had a bad season. They're 14th, 15th, but they still have good players. Like Tottenham are a team that could beat anybody, and they also have a
Right.
great away record too. They're amazing away from home. So we're playing at Old Trafford this weekend. That kind of worries me as well.
Yeah.
Is the fact that they've won a couple games in a row in the Champions League, so maybe they're in like a little bit of good form. I mean, it's possible. Like I wouldn't be surprised if we beat Tottenham. I'm just gonna tell people to not overlook them. I know they're not great Tottenham, but don't be like too cocky with your predictions here.
Right. Oh no, Rich, I was gonna
Yeah.
add on to something too, but if you want to go.
Like I said, I refuse to make predictions for anything Man United related, so I'm gonna refrain from here as well.
You've been on the
But
stretch with that, man. You've been on the
yeah,
stretch with
I
that.
You
just
just
I
said we're
just
gonna
got
win the
to
Premier League, Aritra.
at least for this season, man.
You might
Oh yeah,
retract that
true.
statement right now. Retract it right now. He's right. Kieran is right. You just said they were gonna win the Premier League. So
Well, I'm not gonna say like Arsenal's gonna win the Premier League or like Man City's gonna win the Premier League because why would I? They're like our biggest rivals.
That's fair.
you're interesting.
So as for what's gonna happen in Tottenham, and this is gonna be like what 4:30 in the morning for me from LA.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like Kieran said,
Is that
anything is
at Old
possible.
Trafford or is that at
It is
one?
at
Yeah,
Old Trafford. No, it's
it
at Old
is.
Trafford.
Old Trafford. Oh man, I'm thinking about the 6-2
12
with Kane and
12:30
Son.
p.m. kickoff, I believe.
Don't remind me, Jeff. Don't remind me of
I'm
that.
sorry. I'm sorry, but
That was a horrible day for me.
do you? I have a question for you guys, and I think for all United fans here, if we pose this question, do you think the players are actually like discussing right now, like about this possibility? Like, oh my god, dude, like, can we win these next two games to like? Because you know how like there's no more like mid game weeks right now, right? There's no
Yeah.
distractions. It's like team meetings, trainings. They're probably on their phones even more now, more so than ever. Do you think they're like actually like talking to one another, like, dude, like, man, like we gotta win these next two games for that guy? And my other prediction is, do you think United, like, I'm not saying the official account, like the official United, like, I don't think the club will officially do this, but do you think like a player is gonna get him and cut his hair, or he's gonna go to like the training facility get his hair cut, or is he gonna just get it? Like, what's our predictions, pretty much?
I
You know,
think some
Let's
yeah, go
players
answer
for
the
it.
do
first
know of
question.
it.
Let me answer the first
I
one because I rambled.
Yeah,
Do you think the players are actually talking about this, knowing their
I think
characters,
some of
knowing
them
who they are?
do. I think like the
Who are
younger
they?
ones, like Ahmad or like Aiden Heaven. I think those guys definitely know
Yeah.
about it. Even
Oh, I
Xerxes,
forgot. I meant definitely.
Yeah,
they definitely
I was
know.
gonna say, like I know for a fact Lenny, Ahmad, and Aiden Heaven, since they're like pretty good friends and they're always like hanging out, just joking around in Carrington. They're definitely like talking about this every day for sure. Have
Right,
to be.
and I forgot about Ahmad. It should have been an obvious question, obvious response here because remember the tweets they posted after the win against
Oh
Arsenal.
my
Oh my
god, that
god, he was
Arsenal.
killing me. He was so funny, man. Shout out to Ahmed Diallo, man, and we hope to have you on one day in the future. But
You
dude,
score
that guy was
corners,
killing.
kid. Be quiet. Be humble.
I just know that
Oh, he's
I
a
know
genius.
Arteta's going to use that as motivation.
Oh,
Arteta's going
you
to have that on the
definitely
smart
next
board
time.
in a
He's
uh,
year.
definitely remember that.
what was it that
Oh,
Ivan Tonico? It was like
Nice kick about with the
nice
boys.
kick about
Nice
with
kick
the
around.
boys.
Yeah.
we already did our prediction as to what his haircut would be, right? So we talked about the Ronaldo cut, talked about the Buzzet. I think someone said, you know, we had our predictions, but now we're gonna do these next two predictions, which is what's he gonna do to like live stream this event if it does happen? Because it's likely, right? You have a home game against Spurs, who are not that great, but they are tough, so it's possible. It's very likely. The fact that you've rested and all this type of things, and then you have West Ham, so it's very likely. How is he gonna do it? Like, because obviously he's not gonna spoil it, but like, what is he gonna do? Do you think he's gonna go to Old Trafford itself and get the haircut right there? Do you think he's gonna go to the middle of the pitch and get it like through some way through like media access, get it cut through there? Is he going to live stream it? Like, what are your predictions as to what he's gonna do?
I actually do think because I think United recently got like a new social media admin, and they seemed a lot more like kind of like I guess hip, or they're more aware of trends and stuff. I honestly could see a collab between the United social media team and United Strand. Like, imagine they do like a Fabrizio like Romano type of announcement where it's like it's really dark and they turn on the lights and he's just like in the middle of the pitch getting a haircut. I could see that happening. I
Oh
think
my
that would be
god!
amazing if that happened.
Definitely, I think they'll definitely tweet about it. That's for sure. I
Oh
think.
yeah, for sure. But I
Yeah,
have to bring him to a game. You have to bring him to a game for that.
He
That's
has
yeah.
to,
I
loyalty
was
right there.
especially if it's against what, like they have to, bro.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
yeah.
that is that your other prediction? You think like if let's say they do get it, like let's say they win at West Ham, they get it done. The next Old Trafford game, you think they'll bring him out for that game specifically? Like they'll fly him out, and be like, "We won 5 games in a row. Here you go."
Oh, 100%. I think they will. I think they
Okay.
will. They have to. They have to. Like
Yeah.
that.
What's
That
your
dude went
prediction?
2 years without a haircut. Like he has to get
Yeah,
rewarded.
come on. Yeah, you have to. Aricha, what is your predictions? What are yours? Do you think
I
what's he?
I
What's
feel
the
like
big
he's
event?
gonna.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So I believe Carrington has a barber, and unless it's somehow like just player specific, players only, or coaching staff only, just for one time, if they can make an exception, please. This would be the greatest collab ever. I swear to God. And Kieran already mentioned, like the United admin. It seems like they are aware of trends, so I'm sure like they can somehow get in contact with somebody and like try to make this event happen. I think it'd be awesome if they could also like maybe do some type of like fundraiser too, like as he's like live streaming that cut at
That would be
Carrington
amazing.
and like raising some money. Or if not Carrington, then maybe like in front of. I don't think it's gonna happen on the stadium because like I'm sure they're like super strict about like what can go on there, and the last thing they would probably want is like some hair specs. So maybe like in front of the stadium, like
That's what
in
I was
front of
thinking.
the Holy Trinity statue or something like that.
Oh
Just,
my god!
I'm
I
just
just
saying, man. I'm just saying. So yeah, there's a lot of ideas, but ideally, yeah, I'd love for him to like get it at Carrington at that barber shop or at that with that
yeah.
barber and have it streamed. Maybe one of like Ahmad or Yoro gives like a little, just a little with a little clipper, just go around
Right.
the hair,
Like the present
give it a
there.
little style. Yeah. And yeah, I think like it would still be it'd be an awesome event. And I just hope like he continues to. I know like with this anticipation and everything, and just given how long it's gone, it's gotten a lot of like views and clout. I just hope like it continues for him as well. I'd wish him
Yeah.
the best. He's an awesome fan and has done a lot of good work for the Man United community. So I just hope like this
Yeah.
isn't like the end all be all for him.
I
Right.
will say that I don't think United's going to win the league, so we're probably not going to officially win a trophy. But if we do win 5 games in a row for United Strand, that almost feels like a trophy. Like I know you can't say we got a fan a haircut, but that feels like a trophy if we did.
Dude, that does feel because it's 5 wins in a row in like what the last 2 years or extending beyond what I think when he started the trend because I think he was like we haven't won 5.
Yeah,
Dude, I think it was
2
like May
years.
2024 or something like that. I don't
Jesus
know.
Christ.
It's
Almost
crazy.
2
No,
years.
it's insane.
So
Yeah.
and my other so I'll give my quick predictions. I think he's gonna buzz it. I think I've given real thought about this. I think he's gonna buzz it. And then, or he's gonna do the R9 thing. He's just gonna go really, really short. He's not gonna go fancy with it. He's not gonna paint or anything. He's gonna buzz it. One of the players is gonna get the haircut. I think it's gonna be Ahmad. They're definitely gonna do Ahmad Diallo. I think he's gonna do it. I think that's my prediction. There's gonna be a player, and I think it's gonna be like in some area at Old Trafford. Like they'll grab him and they'll be like, okay, let's go over here, like in this specific area. He's not gonna be on the pitch. It will be cinematic if it's in the pitch. But in some area at Old Trafford, like, yeah, here is at Old Trafford, blah blah blah. Because if they do it outside, that's gonna be tough. Everyone's gonna be like scrambling to get him and all that type of fun stuff. But Oh, it would be so funny. It would be so funny if they can like at least live stream this thing and fundraise would be a good idea. And I think he's buzzing it because I think he's gonna want to continue it. He's probably gonna go for another stretch, like not gonna cut my hair until we win the Premier League or something like that. And which is why he'll buzz
Oh
it.
my! Oh, he should not do that. He should learn his lesson from this. Don't ever do that again. I'm sorry. You cannot ever like put your
No,
hair with your team. It does not
I'm
end
hoping
well.
we don't jinx it, boys. We're gonna move on to the next episode. I'm hoping that we don't jinx it, and in the sense that, you know, they actually, because the last time we did this, he was close to, it was like 2 more games left, and I think they did play Spurs.
One of them
So
was Spurs, and we drew.
it was Spurs.
That's right.
So we're please to God, please just continue the trend. Don't let this break, please. Don't. Spurs,
I
don't do it.
refrain from making any predictions. So I'm just
That's
saying
fair.
for Man
I
United
won't do
result
any
wise.
predictions as
So
well. All I'm just gonna say is I praise to the universe, to God, or any other spiritual being that you believe in, the higher ups. Please just don't do this, Spurs, because if Spurs mess this up, I swear they might be the most hated team in the world. Because I think the minute United win that 5th game, I guarantee the internet's football Twitter is gonna explode. That's gonna be the next big thing. Football Twitter or Twitter in general is just going to explode. The app might break out. But before we have Isaac Housen back on the show, as always, I'm gonna move on to our next sponsor. As always, please follow us on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, for our daily content, whatever we do with reels and stuff like that. Please follow us. Your support is much needed, as always, to grow the account, grow the channel as well. But and yeah, that's pretty much all I got. But we're gonna bring our next host, who is in there at the
hey,
yeah.
Hello, we're back. We escaped the back rooms. I was like, you know, when someone's like sitting, like someone isn't paying attention to you and you're sitting behind them and you do like this, you're like screaming at them like over the camera.
Right.
I think I was doing that for like the past 2 minutes and just to the camera, so I wasn't sure who
No,
could see
you're
that.
good.
So.
You're good. Kind of.
hey man, I acknowledged you. I acknowledged you.
He did. For the record, Aricha was the first to acknowledge, so thank you.
No, shout out to Richard, man. I acknowledge you. Like I think I was second, or probably I was last. But then I just saw in the thing, so we were trying to get done with the United Strand, because obviously you might know 2 more games left for them to probably get the hair, for the United Strand guy to get the haircut. I don't even know his name. What's his name? We're being so disrespectful to him. We're just saying
Frank.
I actually
Frank.
Is it Frank?
It's
Okay.
Frank. First name is Frank. Yeah.
Well, Frank, Mr. Frank, I hope you do get it, man. Because God,
I don't know. I'm not going to be that guy, but think about it. Tottenham's head coach is Thomas Frank.
All
Imagine
right,
if
bro.
Thomas
Like,
Frank-
hey, Kieran,
I'm sorry.
really?
I just have to say it. I'm
Really?
sorry. Like, imagine,
God.
just imagine if Frank ends Frank's hope. Like, that would be poetic. It'd be
We're
a
gonna clip
Shakespeare,
this. We're
Shakespeare
gonna clip
tragedy.
this. If you call this, Kieran, we're gonna clip it. Okay. If Frank does
You
it,
have
we're
to.
gonna clip this, and we're gonna use this to.
That would
Frank
be like
might
some
outdo
Shakespeare
Frank.
stuff right there.
I'm just speechless, bro. All right, let's just go to the next
But
one. Come on.
yeah, obviously the big matchups that also happened throughout the midweek was the AFL semifinals. Yesterday we had Arsenal defeat Chelsea 1-0 with a goal from Havertz. Very
And a horrible first touch from Liam Rossinier, by the way. What the hell was that? I don't know if you
He
guys
looked like
saw
Vic-
that.
He looked
Oh
like
my
Victor
dude.
Yeah, I
Gyökeres
did
there.
see it.
Did you see that?
I did
Man,
see it.
I don't even know. Like, I haven't played that much of football in my life, but I swear to God, I don't think I can have that bad of a first touch.
Nah,
Like,
you
come
know what,
on,
man?
dude.
My biggest weak point for me is not only confidence when it comes to playing the ball, but I think my first touch is just bad too. So I can't really make fun of him. But yeah,
I mean, it was
it's
also
not-
raining a lot, so maybe
it's
that
just feeding into the narratives of how much of a, I don't want to sound mean when I say this, but how much of a dork Liam is pretty much. But I don't know. It's just that first touch was bad, but that Havertz goal was
manager.
pretty
It's
good.
aging people.
Yeah, but that
managing
Havertz goal was not
aging.
bad.
Yeah,
It's his former team too. That's always nice.
and pointing at the Arsenal badge and celebrating.
Oh, he
I'm
did it
like,
too.
"Geez, man,
That's so snaky. That's
won
so.
a
I mean, I
little
get it.
Champions League with them, but you know,
Yeah, but I get it. They wanted him out. Chelsea fans hate him. It's fair. He has the right to do that.
yeah.
But then obviously today we had Man City and Newcastle 3-1. A 3-1 win for Manchester City. So we're gonna have a big. You know what's funny, guys. I was looking through like the EFL Cup final, Carabao Cup finals, I should say, and I don't know. There hasn't been that many that come to my head where it's like very memorable. The only ones I really recall was like Man City's, like, like the Man City versus Arsenal finals back in, like, I believe, what was it, 2017. I remember the Zlatan game. Remember where he scored those 2 amazing goals for United and Mourinho get that trophy in there. Obviously the Newcastle wins as well. But I think I'm really excited for like this final. Like it's like a final. Like we've seen Man City versus Arsenal in the Prem. You know the matchups, and we know how much different the Premier League game is from a final. But like this one, I'm hyped for. Like these are the two
Yeah.
teams, the best two teams in England, arguably, battling out for a one match, just one. Not don't have to worry about the league for the time being. A second leg, no. This is a final. Both at your best. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts for that game, and any predictions for that before? I don't know. Like, what are your thoughts? You
Yeah.
think this is like the most? I'm gonna be tuned in to watch this. I've been. This is like the most excited I've been for a Carabao Cup final in a while.
First of all, I don't think it'll be as exciting as it was for me back in 2023 because that was the first like Man United final that I properly watched against Newcastle where we won the Carabao Cup. So, unlucky mate, Jeff. Anyways, about this one for the Arsenal Man City one. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like Pep just doesn't care about Carabao or FA Cup finals anymore because he's lost like the last three, and it's like he didn't bother playing like Kevin De Bruyne when he had it, or like Holland was like also coming off the bench. So it'll be interesting to see like what or how seriously he takes it. I know he's also been kind of under fire, like dropping points this weekend and then losing to like Man United a couple weekends ago, and kind of still being in the race but not really. So can he sort of try hard and like take a title away from Arteta again? Like, I don't know. We'll see. My prediction is I unfortunately think Arsenal will probably win it. And I think it'll be Arteta's second title in I don't know, like 6 years now. Which is
6 years.
really crazy to think. But yeah, I'll probably tune in as well and watch it. I just I don't know. I just can't with like some of these midweek like cup games. Like obviously, if it's the FA Cup, then FA Cup final. That's different.
FA Cup
But,
is
like
like more
Carabao,
prestigious. I would
I
say.
like
Yeah.
largely ignore it unless like United is playing. So yeah, I guess I'll
Too,
like give it a
it's always
try.
been
I'll
like
probably tune in.
yeah,
I was
and
gonna
it's
say I'll
funny
just
too.
probably tune in like the last second half and then see who the winner is. And yeah.
Yeah, and I'm happy Isaac's here because I remember obviously our last few episodes we've been rambling about art to Arsenal fans. Like, you got to win, and this is one of their opportunities now to shut us up, go out and win because this is a final now. This is your chance to win a trophy under this like new best Arsenal team that we've seen in the last 20 years, the greatest Premier League team apparently. This is your shot to get the first one out of the three that you want to win this year, right? So, I don't know, Isaac, if you want to give your insight into that too.
Yeah, no, it's what I like what Aretha said too about Pep not really seemingly caring about these in recent years. I think I was looking into it. James Trafford, he's already starting James Trafford over Donnarumma. He's already confirmed that. And I think also Mark Gahey can't play in that game because he didn't join them until after the first round had already been played. So he's ineligible too. So they're going to be down a couple players, one by choice, one by just sort of like that's obviously how like the rules work. I don't know. Like, yeah, I agree 100% what you're saying. We came on here a few episodes ago and said, like, you got to be taken seriously. You got to win trophies. And it'll be a nice little shut up moment. I don't know. I think I go for Man City kind of for like the trolling reasons in this game because I just think it would be very funny if you have Pep who like is outwardly not caring about this final in the grand scheme of things and starting Trafford. You're probably your best center back. And then they go on to beat Arsenal, who like everyone's been saying, or Arsenal fans have been saying, is the greatest Premier League team we've ever seen in our lifetime, or whatever. All that nonsense they're spewing. So I don't know. Maybe I'm a little spiteful, still with that, but I'm gonna go City in this game.
I'm gonna go with Arsenal. I guess like to contrast that. I think it's gonna mean more for them because they haven't won a trophy in so long. They're gonna have that adrenaline. Like the same way last year, I think the game meant more to Newcastle than Liverpool. I think that's part of the reason why Newcastle won because it was their first trophy in 70 years. Where Liverpool, they were going to win the league, so they honestly didn't care about the cup. But in terms of the game itself, I think Arsenal are probably the better team. They have the better squad. They have an amazing defense. I mean, they could score in the first minute in that game and sit on a 1-0 lead because of how good their defense is. I think physically they're stronger than City. They can dominate them in that sense. Also, a cup final, it's just like a one-off game. You just have to win. It doesn't matter how you do it, you just win. I think that suits Arsenal more. They can win in any type of way possible. Where with City, they still kind of want to play this like possession based, build out of the back with Pep, and that hasn't worked the past couple of years. It's not guaranteed to work in a cup. I mean, look at last year against Crystal Palace. That didn't work for them. They They didn't have any answers. Now I know Arsenal's a different team, but I just think they're going to have more. They have more riding on it. I think they're the better team, and I think they're just going to win it. I think they're going to physically dominate City to
This is
get
gonna
the
be weird.
win.
Like, is City getting disrespected by people? I feel like there's a lot of people like it's just like easy like Arsenal for a lot. I mean, again, good reasons. Like this is still a very good City team. Like they're still second in the Prem, and they still have the best player between the two squads on their team with Holland. Like we can talk about with Arsenal scoring in the first minute and like playing defense all the way through. You can't do that with Holland. Holland's going to get opportunities. I think we probably bet money if we had to that he's going to score in this game as well. If you're going to put money on anybody, like I don't know. Semedo's been like in an amazing form. I think since he switched over as well. Like this is still a very good City team, and I don't know. Again, they beat us 3-1 or beat Bayern, I should say when I say us, but like. Man, I just like not overly blown over by this Arsenal team. Like they're good. They're in first place. Great players playing well this season, but like, man, people are talking about them like I feel like it's 2010s Barca some moments where like you just can't go in and get a result against them, and that's just not true. You know what I mean? This is
First of
Arsenal.
all, by people, that's Arsenal fans that's
True.
doing that talking, because
True.
all the other 19 PL teams, nobody like either care about them or they're always hating on them because of these delusional fans. So
Right? I mean,
yeah.
Arteta's only been in 2 cup finals, this one and the last one that he's won in. So like, this is also like an inexperienced squad. Arteta hasn't coached in a lot of finals. He is 1-1, so congratulations. But I don't know how many other Trent Dilfer's 1-1 in a Super Bowl. Are we gonna say he's a great quarterback? You know what I mean? Sorry, Kieran, a little Ravens dig for you right there. But like seriously, like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? You won a 2020 FA Cup against with like I don't know, really. Like, just get over yourselves.
Yeah, I feel it. I'll end it off with this, right? I think everyone has some strong points. I think Arsenal, and I think we're looking at it from 2 perspectives, right? I think for me, Kieran, and Rachel, we look at it from the perspective of like this Arsenal team is frustrating, has been annoying in terms of like their fan base and stuff, but they're a solid team. And defensively, they do kind of suit these like one type of games where like they can just sit deep, try to score from headers, and then just close it out in the final, play the dirtiest that they possibly can because they have the physical tools to do that. But I think Isaac, you're completely right as well. This Arsenal team, I don't think is like this heavenly god level team to the point compared to this City team because, like you said, they do have the best player. I think their midfield is a little bit better as well. Like, well, I don't know. I think their attack is better. I think midfield is in question, but again, it's like how will Rice be in that game? So the question mark is all on how will Rice appear for that game. Obviously, we're going to go for Arsenal's defense over Man City's, but again, it's to the style of play again because Manchester City are just one of the best attacking teams in the world when they're on it, and we've seen it like from that stretch in October to November. Just right now, they've just been off form. But I'm more of like, which is why I'm excited because I actually don't know who's going to win this. I know it's like very like cop out answer, but like I seriously don't know because the inexperience of Arsenal in finals, which highly matters. I've seen it play throughout many times, and the fact that I don't think this Arsenal team is just that superior over that Man City team, and the fact that it's just one game, it's a final, it's Pep versus Arteta, and Pep has the experience over that. I think we gotta go for. I think it's just whoever's on it that day, pretty much, because I think both of them can knock it out the park and get that title. But speaking of midweek games, because we're going to kind of transition away from the EFL Cup final, we're talking about. I remember Richard said like, "Oh, I'm not even paying attention to these EFL Cup games, whatever." I am, but not for the Premier League, for other leagues, because I'm paying attention to what Barca's doing, because obviously they won 2-1 against Albacete, which just stings and boils my blood because we should have beat them and we should have played probably Barca, which maybe would have been better because we would have got embarrassed in the game or in the semifinals. But it just boils my blood that, of course, they matched up in I believe it's the round of 16 or quarterfinals or wherever it is now in the Copa del Rey. And they beat them like 2-1 with beautiful goal from Lamine Yamal, who's arguably the best player. Like he's been playing out of his mind these last 2 to 3 games. I think he's been amazing. But another young player that I kind of want to end off with too, guys, is just from the new transfers because obviously transfer windows. I think it's closed. It's done. We've had some crazy players out there. I know we saw the Kareem Benzema one to Al Hilal. No, not Al Hilal. Is it Al Hilal?
No, it is Al Hilal. Yeah.
Al Hilal. So I'm
Yeah.
happy to see that he's still going to be continuing the Saudi league and scoring goals from there. Just real quickly before going, my player that's been just the January transfer so far, and we're not even done with like halfway into the season yet. Halfway into the halfway of the season. Who's been like your winter transfer so far for you guys? I know, Kieran, I think you said Semenyo.
Yeah, I mean, of course, we knew how good Semenyo has been at Bournemouth. this season and last. He's had a great goal scoring season. But I just remember talking to Colby, who's been on this podcast before a couple of weeks ago, and we were worried about Semenyo. We just didn't know if he was going to like be able to make the jump from Bournemouth to a team like Manchester City. I was worried about like if he could actually handle that kind of pressure, but no, he's been great for them. I think he's got almost like 5 or 6 goals already for them. He's already seemed to be a starter ahead of Doku, who was playing well before him. So he surprised me because I know City have bought wingers like Jack Grealish or Doku in the past, and those wingers have struggled. Not every winger can do well under Pep. It's a very demanding type of system. But Semenyo's proved me wrong. He looks really good for City. I'm very surprised by how quickly he's started life there.
Yeah. What about you, Isaac? I don't know if you got anybody or.
I mean, you mean like I don't not so much for winner, but I think he's just someone I haven't really got to talk about that's joined Jan Diomande for Leipzig this year. I mean, he joined in I think 2025 for around 20 mil, and I think he's just been their most dynamic forward going their entire year as a 19-year-old. He formerly played like U.S. High school soccer as well, so kind of an interesting product. You don't get a lot of guys coming out of like high school soccer going overseas for that. You feel like usually they're scooped up into like an MLS academy. So a very interesting route. And he's just been their best forward this year. I want to see if, in 14 appearances, 7 goals, 4 assists in the Bundesliga, and then I think a goal in 2 appearances in the DFB Pokal as well. Who we have to play them in our next round. So speaking of like some midweek tournaments in Germany. But yeah, I mean, he's just simply been amazing. I think Bayern had been, again, shocker. Some guy performs well in the Bundesliga. Bayern gets the rumors around, and it seems like they're demanding at least 100 mil plus. I think City's name I've seen in there as well. So, I mean, obviously you got to take it with a grain of salt. Anytime you see big money going around, obviously it's high expectations, and we know obviously a lot of players don't live up to that. But I think still seeing that 100 mil price tag for a lot of these big, just top 6 clubs, really. I mean, it shows some great signs. I think he's gonna be I don't know, really dynamic going forward, and still so young too as well. Really, really good player for Leipzig.
Yeah. What about you, my bad? Who you got?
Yeah. I'm gonna mention 2 players. One that deal already happened like a couple weeks ago and he's been playing and he's been balling, and the other one it just got a here we go from Fabrizio like literally today, or I guess yesterday. The one that's been playing so far I'd say is Endrick for Lyon. He's that loan deal, man, for Madrid to like Lyon is like what, like, what was Carlo doing? What was Xabi Alonso doing? And it's like now, he's just balling it. It could also be the fact that, it is Ligue 1. It is like, different opponents. Just you just get to like perform better.
Right.
And Real Madrid, it's just not easy for anybody, especially for an 18-year-old kid to like come and start playing the way he has been playing. But that's great to see that, he's been what is it, like 5 goals, 3 assists or something crazy
5
like
goals
that.
and 2 assists. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, in the span of like 3 games, 4 games. So that's awesome to see that, he hasn't lost it despite not playing that much football over the last couple of years. And hopefully he can like sneak into the World Cup squad if that form continues. And then as for the other player that I'm like excited to see with that transfer happening is N'Golo Kante to Fenerbahce. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He's back in Europe.
Back in Europe, man.
I don't know what Fenerbahce's standing is in the Turkish league, but if they happen to have a Champions League spot or potentially qualify for the Champions League squad, I'm excited to see him play next year back in the champs. So I know like he's won it once with Chelsea back in 2021, so it'd be nice to see the man that, they say 70% of the earth is covered by water, the other 30% by Kante, or maybe I have it like completely flipped, something like that.
Yeah, it's like 80. No, it's like how much water is the world covered by? Like 85 or 90%, whatever, something like that.
No. It's like 70 to 30%.
70, and then the rest is covered by N'Golo Kante.
N'Golo Kante.
So yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see him back. I know he was probably balling it in Saudi League. I didn't really get to watch him that much, so yeah. We'll see how he performs here back in Europe. And then as for Endrick, just want to see him continue to like ball up the way he's been. And yeah, that's what I got.
Well, I think with Conte, right? Conte, I think he was back in the French team like a few weeks ago when they had like their friendlies or whatever.
Oh
they
yeah.
had to run. And he was in the squad, which was like a shocker. They're like, "Whoa, he's back!" So maybe that's why he went back. Maybe he's talked to the Champs and was like, "Hey, like, because the Champs is a very player managed type of person. We're not not the greatest tactician, but very like individual based type of with his players. Like he wants his players to like feel well, be comfortable, which is fair. I mean, it's won him a World Cup. It's got him to two World Cup finals if you want to count the last one, even though it's failed him. But I think maybe he had a conversation with him like, "Hey, I'll take you because the options are still there with Tchouaméni and Camavinga and Rabiot and all of them. But it's like if you have a fit Conte who's ready to go and who's even balling, when I think he was like in those friendly games, like he's still a solid piece to have for a World Cup. The experience, the chemistry, the glue guy that he is from that team, the leadership too. I would take him. So maybe that's why he's back. So that's a good shout. But I wanted to go back on a little bit on Endrick, man, because obviously I'm the Madrid fan, and we'll end it off here with your boys, because I didn't get the chance to talk about my Madrid, but obviously they lost over the weekend. Um, just been poor, and one of the main things is again just the inconsistencies with our forwards. I know you mentioned that with Endrick, right? We had him, and I was mad that he left, but you know what? At the site, I'm very happy that he left. And here's my hot take, because everyone's saying he's going to come back to Madrid for next swing next year, and he should be back. Here's my hot take: if Madrid are not going to figure this out anytime soon with what their forwards are going to be, I do not want Endrick coming back to the squad anytime soon. I would give him even one more year at Lyon, because what he's been doing at Lyon has been absolutely breathtaking. He's been one of the. I didn't even know he had like this creative force in him, or this creative intelligence to be that elite on the wing. Like I knew he could play on the wing because of his physicality and his pace, but man, has he just been able to just freely express himself and just let the chains off. Like he's free. He's been drifting inside. He's been on the wings. He's scoring goals. And we knew that he has it, but it's the fact that now he's a creative talent and factor into these like teams where I'm like, Madrid can definitely use a right winger like that. And it just sucks that Xavi didn't get that right with him. I think that's where Xavi messed it up. But I think he was just coming back from injury, so that's fair. If he wasn't able to get in, obviously Gonzalo Garcia's peaked at the right time with the Club World Cup when Endrick was injured, so that also played a factor. So maybe why he didn't get to play. But still, like there was just games where like you could have played him over Messi Antonio, maybe over Vinny, maybe rested an Mbappe for him, and even in his last game for Madrid, he looked amazing. So, um, but look, and you also mentioned Carlo was the fault. I don't really blame Carlo because again, which is why I don't want Endrick to come back. It kind of proves my point a little bit more. Is they had Rodrigo, Mbappe, and Vinny set with Jude. There is no way at that time of the year you were ever going to get Endrick to start. There was just no way. So again, it's just big superstars, but I don't want him coming back anytime soon if they don't figure this out. If he's gonna come back, please, you gotta number one sell Brahim Diaz, because that's a right wing spot that you don't need. That's wages that you can get off, so you have to get rid of him. Just get rid of him. If you're gonna bring him back to the idea of that he's gonna be like a striker as well, like as a backup striker, then you need to loan out Gonzalo Garcia, because maybe he's the one that needs to go. He hasn't proven himself these last few months. He's literally been as used as like a backup plan. Or if he's gonna, and then if you're gonna keep one of those two or both of them, then you have to loan out Masantono, because again, not everyone's gonna be able to fit. Or if you're gonna get, and then we're not even mentioning the fact that we have Rodrigo in there, we have Vinny, we have Nico Pass coming back potentially that they want to sign.
Mm.
Obviously, Mbappe's still gonna be Mbappe. Obviously, Jude's gonna be Jude. Arda's still gonna be there. They might want to get another forward or another midfielder, so that's less spots for him. So if he's not gonna come back, if he's gonna come back to where everyone is, um just gonna be thrown in there and he has no specific spot, then I don't want him back. Stay in Lyon for one more year, maybe even 2 years at this case, and just prove yourself even more. To when you come back, there's no denying that you will be the right winger or the starting striker or the starting winger alongside whoever has been killing at that time. You know what I'm saying? And if he wants to stay there, I'll be happy for him. And I think he will be making the World Cup. I think the stretch of games that he had, definitely you have to bring to the World Cup. A player like that can just change the game on the wing as a striker, as a 10 even potentially, because of how good he is inside and physically as well. Man, dude, congrats to Hendrik, man. But don't come back to Madrid. And Madrid, don't pressure him to come back if you're not going to figure this out, because I do not want to ruin his development anytime soon. This is a future superstar in the making, and we've seen it now for those last 3, 4, 5 games that he's been with Leon. That's a talent right there, and I don't want you ruining that shit like you've done with Massimiliano or whoever else that you've ruined with Arda, whoever else. So just stay in Leon, man. Don't leave. Stay and develop. Unless they're like, here you go, you're gonna be the starting right winger. Which even then, that's even dangerous. because it's just 6 months. So maybe you should just stay in Lyon and just perform. That's my hot take.
But you also need you need your board to have a real serious conversation, which obviously we're not a part of it. We don't know, and I'm sure they are. Like, what is the future? What's the end goal here with Endrick? Is this someone that, like you said, is this our future number 9? Is this our future right winger or a 10 or whatever it is? You need to take the best steps, I think, to get him the best development that you want. I think we've also seen the troubles that it takes with even getting acclimated to a team like Madrid, even if you when you make your move there. And I think the only way that comes is giving them more opportunities on the pitch for a team like Madrid. Yeah, we can talk about a team like Lyon, which I think for development, and I think maybe if the goal is to maybe strike a profit, get him to develop, and maybe just with the forwards you have, sell him in a couple of years, and I'd say let him stick at Lyon. I think it's really about getting minutes at Madrid as soon as possible. With the hype that he had coming in, I think with the talent that we know he's capable of, and where he could be in even just 5 years, that's something that I think you want really, really developed at Madrid. And I think we've talked a lot about the rut that Madrid is in currently, and they're sort of having to make this decision, or they seem like they had this decision they're going to have to make upcoming with what they want to do with their future. And as you've talked about with the forward position, how is Endrick outside of Mbappe kind of not your number 1 there, maybe behind Vinny as well? Like, I feel like Vinny and Endrick, in terms of what your future potential of where you want those two players, are on a very similar playing field. And then, that leaves a Rodrigo and then a Brahim Diaz, all the other names you just mentioned. But what are you doing? What's the end goal here? Are you want him to develop? You want him to get Madrid playing time? Like, what I don't know.
For me, it's and that's where I think World Cup will come into play, because if he does make it and he does shine, then dude, especially if he shines, and there's got to be conversations of like, okay, bro, like maybe we have to loan out a player, maybe keep Rodrigo, but then we have to loan out Mastantuono and sell Brahim. So I think that's the conversations that will be happening over the summer, because again, like you said, I agree so too. I wish he can get the full minutes and start running up, kind of like how Vinny did at his time. But then you also don't want to rush his development because he's so young. But at the same time, it's like he's so good. It's like you kind of do want to play him like what they're doing with Lamine Yamal, what they're doing with when Saka broke into the freaking team, when Bayern pulls up with Eleni Carl, and he's been in a few minutes here and there, So
they've trusted Carl to be a main forward for that. Like, Carl was one they also recognized the talent outside of the Musiala injury, or before that, like he was starting full games or getting 60 minutes, the first 60 minutes, all that sort of stuff. I don't know. It's just with Endrick, like he's only 19. Like, this guy's only a year older than my brother, who just started college. And
stop making us feel old, Isaac. Stop.
Soccer's going to make us feel old, Jeff. Leonard Carl is 17. I got to see a 17-year-old scoring for my team every weekend.
He's 5 years younger than
I'm
he's more than me.
22, 23 in grad school. Like, I'm a loser compared to that guy. You know what I mean? Like, it's not fun watching that. But it's also funny you talk about the development there, though, and sort of that pressure that can come in letting them develop on that pitch. That's still the club's fault. That's the fan base's fault for a lot of that. I think what can go worries, because we have I don't know. You see this young kid come from Brazil. You think your mind goes to Neymar. Your mind goes to other those Brazilian greats, which stepped in and were great right away. That's not the norm. That's not the norm for a lot of 19-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 17-year-olds, whatever it is, when they're stepping into that top professional football. Yeah, when you put a 19-year-old, say for Madrid, say he does start on the right wing for you guys next year, there's going to be games where he's just bad, because he's a 19-year-old learning how to play the game, learning how to play for Madrid. It's just too many times I think people get in the rut of a couple bad matches, and then you got to start your Brahim Diaz. Maybe Brahim Diaz's future isn't as good. Maybe he's not, potential-wise, he can't perform to the best of Endrick, but he's going to give you a solid performance just because he's 20-something and he's been there and he's done that. Let the kid grow. Let the kid fail, because you do have an Mbappe. You have a Rodrigo. You have two players that can get him out of that. It's not like a team where you're playing for like Southampton and you have to rely on him for all of your attacking. I don't know why Southampton came into my mind. Sorry. For any Southampton
great Brazilian players,
but you know what I mean? You have to rely on your one savior to score goals for you. That's not the case for Madrid. Let the 19-year-old let him do his thing. Give him that time.
Right, and I agree with you, man. If I was the director, I'd be like, dude, just give him the minutes, and then just keep her like a Rodrigo, but have Endrick come off the bench and start with him or whatever it may be, and have Gonzalo Sol. So now you have Endrick, who's a young player that can play on the right or play as a striker. So now you have 4 versatile wingers in there, and maybe you can keep a Mastantuono or a Brahim for the sake of Brahim knows there's players that got to know their roles pretty much. At this point, like you said, the answers have to be questioned in this summer, because it's not only going to be the right wing spot, it's going to be, because we have so many quote unquote forwards and wingers, we might play with 2 strikers. So it might be a year where we have played with more midfielders. So where's Endrick going to play? Because obviously he's a right winger and a striker. So it's you're not going to start over Vinny or Mbappe. Now, if one of them gets sold or one of them leaves, which I think could be Vinny potentially, then that's up for discussion. That you need a superstar like that to come back in and brighten up the team, I guess, with that Brazilian flair. But like you said, I think this summer it's really going to come down to how Endrick's going to close off, their final decision on who's going to get loaned out, who's going to get sold, even if or who stays even. And then what Endrick does in the World Cup? Because if he does shine out, it's like, yeah, man, like he's proven it. Like that's a World Cup. Like there's a lot of players that can't do it at the World Cup, but this kid is killing it off the bench or starting in some games. I don't know. Then bring the conversation. You gotta make the decision.
Like last thing, I'll finish up with this too, and probably, Jeff, you can help me on this because you know more of that Madrid like team psyche. Some of it even goes into the egos of the players as well. I'll take like Bayern for an example. We're talking about how we have this wealth we have going forward with Kane, Elise, Diaz, Carl, Musiala coming back. Those guys don't complain when maybe they only go 60 minutes and you got to throw on Carl for 40 minutes, or Carl will start the first 60, he's got to come off, and then Gnabry or Diaz or Elise or Musiala will play that 40. Like I just feel like with Madrid, with Vinny, with Mbappe, with some of those guys, if you took them off at the 60th minute because you wanted Endrick to get 40 minutes, I think they could throw a fit, or I think they could be very upset with that. And because you have all these player managers, you're trying to please all the players. Like, no, like if you truly want what's best for the team, let Endrick develop. Let Endrick get that 40 minutes. Yeah, maybe Mbappe you won't start this week because we want to give Endrick the chance at a number 9 because you're playing the team that's 15th in the table. Like, you just allow for that. But I don't think your squad naturally allows for that type of, I don't know, sportsmanship. Not that you guys are bad sports, but that sportsmanship where you're trying to like really put the team first.
It's an ego-driven team, man. It's all egos.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, you will be going through situations where you'll be like, dude, what the hell? Like,
but then how do you train an ego-ridden team without letting those egos take over?
That's why I think it's just going to come down to who gets sold and who leaves, because you need to get rid of some of those egos, and you just need a team. You can't have a team full of superstars that are not balanced correctly. If it's not a balanced team, and not only just in terms of like on the pitch, but off the pitch as well, because that matters too. That matters as well. You need leaders who can just calm these egos down and be like, yo, you need to do your role here, here, here. Or like, you need to know that we need this kid to play for 40 minutes. But it's really going to come down to what our roster construction is going to be next summer, because it's going to take some massive, massive reconstruction with how bad we are, with how poor we've been playing these last 2 years now. It's been 2 years now. We have not looked great for 2 years. There hasn't been like a single big game or a consistent run of games where we looked actually solid. So I don't know. I'm gonna just leave it off at there because I think we're running out of time. But yeah, that's all I really got for today's episode. Obviously, Super Bowl. Quick predictions, boys, before we end it off.
I'll go Seahawks. I'm running for the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm going for Seahawks too.
I'll go like 31-20. I don't know, something like
41-20.
No, 31-20. It'll be like 11-point game.
What you said, Isaac?
I got one more shout out. I want to shout out Weston McKennie. I believe recently he was named Juventus's Player of the Month for January. 7 games, 3 goals, and an assist. I think he's scored in back-to-back Champions League games. This is a quote from his coach. This is back in December, but I think it still applies to his form, from Luciano Spalletti. It's a strong person who makes a strong footballer. McKennie has the attitude, the way of meeting you halfway. Like he's saying, you ask, I'll do. He starts and becomes effective. You can tell he faced his fears when he was young, because to become brave, you have to face what scares you. He tries plays that wouldn't normally be part of his repertoire, but he still tries them. Ever since Spalletti's came in, he's taken over. I think he's arguably been their best player. I think he's had the best form out of his Juventus career right now which
we're going to need for the U.S. Agreed.
And yeah, which is great for us leading into a World Cup year. And I feel like, we don't always mention Serie A a lot. So Juventus having a good
I'm hoping
month.
we're trying to get Gianluca on. I'm hoping that one of these days we can do like a Serie A thing. I'm trying to get him on. Don't worry. Shout out to Gianluca if you're listening, man. We're trying to get some Juve, because I think Serie A is an interesting spot. I think the league has declined, but I'm hoping that there's a day in which we can actually talk about, fully on with some of the games and stuff. But I think that's all I got, boys. But I really appreciate the time, man. We won't record an episode till next week, but I'm hoping, United win. I know it's against Spurs, but just praying, man. We need the streak to continue, because I need that haircut. I need to see that haircut, man.
I don't know. As a man with long hair, I like seeing men rock the fellow long hair. So I kind of rooting for United to lose. I'm sorry. I kind of would like to see it grow on a little more, but I'm a little biased there. I'm sorry.
This guy, man. Oh my God. But I think that's all I got. But yeah, you've been listening to the Outlaw Podcast. This was episode 22. Thank you again for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.